Hi, this is Dean Kershaw, Kershaw Instrumentation. We're here today to talk about our basic footage counter. It's a model BFC17. The purpose of this test is to measure the length of product on rolls such as this. This is a standard shrink wrap type material, industrial type material. This particular machine is designed for a 20-inch wide roll. We can accommodate longer rolls simply by making the rollers wider and the machine wider. This machine is portable. You'll notice there's wheels on this end. We have a handle on this end, so it is relatively portable in terms of being able to move it around. We set it down. It's rested on four legs. We've broken this machine basically down into three areas. We're going to talk about each area here, and then we'll actually run some sample product to demonstrate how this tester works. This part of the machine here is the unwind section. Now, for demonstration purposes, I have a short roll of material here. It's maybe 200 feet long that we're going to run. But to load up the machine, we simply put this material on our unwind shaft and we set it on the V-blocks. Done. Now, it doesn't make any difference whether the material is wound clockwise or counterclockwise. In other words, I could put the roll on this way or that way, and it makes no matter. Now, the second part of our machine is we have an idler roll, and we're going to pass this material under this idler roll, and then we're going to go over this sensing roll. Now, you'll see when by doing that, what we have achieved is we have an S-wrap here between these two rollers. Now, the advantage of the S-wrap is that ensures that we always have a constant wrap on this sensing roll at all times, regardless of which way this roll is oriented, and also as the size increases or decreases when we're paying off the material. Now, a little bit about the sensing roll, because that's the important part of the machine. The sensing roll has an encoder located at this end, and as we rotate this roll, the encoder is measuring the rotation of the roller, and that encoder is coupled up to this display over here, which you can't see too well, but essentially this display is counting the number of turns and then translating them into feet. So every time we rotate, in this particular case, this roller is 0.497 feet in circumference. So every time we get one revolution on this roller, we're going to read 0.497 feet over here. Now, the beauty of that device, which we won't get involved with this demo, but we're able to calibrate that device so that if you have stretch in your material and you run a test and you discover that it's 1% short or it's 3% long, we can go in and change that magic calibration number so that we can achieve the right length for a given material. In the manual that's supplied with this machine, it illustrates the simple procedure for going in and changing that calibration factor. And you may discover that you need different calibration factors for different material depending on how accurate you want to make your measurement. So enough about the sensing roll. Now that our material has passed over the sensing roll, I'm going to come over to the other side. We're going to talk about the wind-up. Now, the wind-up, we have exactly the same roller for the wind-up as for the rewind, so that you can interchange the front and the back, so to speak. We're going to put our core on here that we want to roll the material onto. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start this test. Now, we started by winding the material around the S-wrap. I'm going to put the leading edge of this right at the top dead center of that sensing roll. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to push my reset button so my footage now reads 0. Now, as I pay this material off for the setup purpose, we're actually turning that sensing roll, and our counter is already counting the length of the material that we have pulled out manually. Now we're just going to set our rewind roll down, give this thing, get that started. Now we're going to come over here. We're going to turn our motor control on. I usually start it pretty slow, and then we're going to speed this up. Now, as you can see, where our material is being paid off of the unwind roll going through our S-wrap over the sensing roll, and it's getting wound up over here on the rewind side. And our count over here is counting up. We're up to 55, 6, 7, 8, 9 feet as we speak here. This roll is about 250 feet, something like that. So this test will be done relatively soon. Now, one comment that I'll make is if your rolls are very large, what you may find is as you get into the test, especially if you're running at high speed, this rewind part will start to hop around because the nature of the way this material wraps up. If that's the case, you have a couple of options. You can slow the motor down, which is going to take longer to run your test. That may or may not be an issue. Or you can simply stop the test, cut the material, put on a clean rewind tube, and resume the test. As long as you don't reset your footage, you can do that very accurately without interfering with your test results. Okay, we're coming to an end. Now, what's going to happen when this material ends? This rewind is going to keep going until I come over here and turn it off. However, the sensing roll is going to stop turning because there's no more material right there, and that's the end of our test. So we come up at 243 feet, which I think was exactly the number that I got the last time that I ran this particular sample. So now we'll turn this off. Now, if by chance I wanted to double check this, that would be simple because I could take this roll off. I could put this roll back on here, and I could run that same sample again if I chose to do that. We're not going to do that here today. The second example we're going to do is going to be for packaging tape, such as this. It doesn't have to be packaging tape, it could be any kind of tape. So we're going to measure tape. We're going to get rid of this, and we'll put our tape sample on here, like so. And I've got another core here for the tape. And we're going to do this exactly the same way. We're going to pull off here. Now, the important thing here is we have to have the adhesive. We don't want to put it on this aluminum, the adhesive side, because it'll stick to it. It will not stick to this rubber material. So you'll notice that the sticky side is here. So I'm putting the sticky side out on the aluminum. So there's no stick here. We'll put the adhesive actually right on the rubber part of it. We're going to reset our footage. And we're going to come over here and stick this on here. I'm going to go ahead and stop this test. I think we have the idea. The last thing that I'm going to demonstrate for you is if you have a roll that has a small core, such as this hand shrink wrap. A very simple way to test that is if rather than using our live unwind roller that we use in these other tests, rather than using that, we can use simply just use a dead bar, which I constructed very crudely here, but it'll work just fine. We'll put a dead bar on there. Same rules apply. We go over to sensing roll. We reset right there. I'm going to change this core. And you can see, even though it's just a dead bar, this test will work perfectly fine, just like it is. And we're counting up our footage. Now, if you were going to run many samples with those smaller roll size, I would suggest that we make up a live roller such as this that's a little bit more robust for those smaller cores. This unwind one here is set up for the standard 3-inch cores. So I'm going to turn this off, and this concludes our demonstration on our basic footage counter. If you have any questions, I would suggest you look at our website or contact us directly about any applications you might have. Thank you for taking some time to look at this.